A group of teenagers is bonded through a secret after they hit someone in the road during a drunken celebration gone awry. A year passes and they begin to receive threatening letters reminding them of their drowned past. That's the premise of the 1997 and 2025 remake, sequel, reboot of the film I Know What You Did Last Summer. I'm Ronald Young Jr. and I'm leaving the theater. All right, this is Ronald, and I am leaving the theater after seeing I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Written by Sam Lansky and Jennifer Kaytin Robinson. Directed by Jennifer Kaytin Robinson. Starring Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr., Madelyn Cline, Chase Sweet Wonders, Jonah Hauer-King, Tyriq Withers, Sarah Pidgeon, and Billy Campbell. And as usual, for a complete cast listing, you can go to the link in our show notes. I am not here alone. He abandoned his child just so he could be here with you and me and the audience and me and all of us here at Leaving the Theater. He is fresh from missing F1, but we found him. We found him. We have found
Chioke Ianson.
That's right, the long-suffering Chioke Ianson. Welcome back, Fred.
We are standing in an alleyway covered in rain. Our feet are wet, and we saw I Know What You Did Last Summer. God damn.
All right, well, I Know What You Did Last Summer is a remake of the 1997 film with the same name, I Know What You Did Last Summer, starring Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt and Ryan Felipe and Sarah Michelle Gellar. They were at the kind of combined height of their powers. This was during the Cruel Intentions era, during the Buffy the Vampire Slayer era, during the whatever, She's All That era, like all of that.
It was a great time. It was a great time. I skipped school to see the original.
What a time to be alive. Don't let Chioke tell you how old he is based on that. You can hear the rain in the background. We're working hard for y'all here at Leaving the Theater. We know what the movie's about. It's a slasher film. Some kids do a thing and a murderer comes out to find them. And at this time, it's in the same town that the original film was set in. There were two of them. I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. This continues the legacy sequel of that, bringing back some of the old characters to find out what the heck is going on in Southport. Chioke Ianson, what did you think of this movie?
This movie is a violation of the social contract. There should be a deal. I go see your movie, you try to give me movie. That should be the agreement. You can fail, you can swing for the fences and maybe it doesn't work out, but you tried, there was some effort there. This is not that. This is someone said, I don't know, people like this stuff, make a thing that the people like, I guess. Maybe we'll get money if they do it. That's what this movie is. It's, oh, God. Why do we always end up here?
It's true. You seem to only come around for bad movies. And I think some people would argue that Deadpool versus Wolverine was not a bad movie, but neither of us liked it. So it felt tough. And I feel like the one complaint that you had during that time was that it was slop. They were giving us slop. And I think that's kind of what you're saying now is like that this is slop. I don't know if I agree for the reasons that you said, but I do agree this movie was not very good. I think in terms of what they were trying to accomplish, Scream had a remake, and they did a bunch of sequels, and they saw what that did, and they said, hey, we could do the same thing with I Know What You Did Last Summer.
It's not that this movie had to be bad. I mean, I think that it's okay to accept that, teens or a group of friends who do bad thing then have a secret, and then a murderer comes back to take revenge is a genre. I think we can accept that.
I agree.
And that there can be some hallmarks of that genre that will make it entertaining to watch wherever such a genre film appears. We have to have some good characters, good banter between the characters, little bit of mystery, very good kills, right? And a good overall tone of, dread and menace and stuff. I think that if you do that and it's competent, it can be, reductive, or it can be like very well worn, but it can still be entertaining. And all of the above is what was missing, I think, from this movie, for most of it.
I think this is a movie that thinks it's entertaining, but I think what it ends up being is a movie that's kind of, it's entertained with itself. It's amused by itself in ways that sometimes it lets the audience in on, but other times it's just like, aren't we clever? In a way that I felt kind of insulted by a few times. There's, the normal horror tropes that happen in this film, but for it to be so poorly constructed and poorly written, and we'll get into poorly acted, at least by one actor in this film, but like it poorly written, it just feels like there was so much they could have done that they just chose not to do. I feel insulted as an audience member watching it because there were elements of this that I feel like were very good. Like there were elements, I was like, there's bones here that would have worked.
Yeah.
But at some point y'all were just like, y'all gave up and decided, nah, we don't want to make a good movie.
Yeah, I feel like one of the features of movies that suffer from should not exist syndrome is that they do give you a little bit of the sparkle that you want. Beetlejuice is a movie that is terrible wall to wall, but it still has Beetlejuice in it. You know what I mean? Terminator Salvation is a movie that takes place in the actual future where the Terminators done took over. Should not happen, but one of the greatest kind of car chasey scenes or whatever. They always give you a little something to be like, well, you see what we could have gone for. You know what I mean? But, oh my God, this is a legacy sequel. We should address this. So it already has the feeling of an executive who's digging in the crates saying, what can we make here? What's a thing that we can do? And who then told someone to make this movie. No one went to Hollywood and said, I have an idea for a pitch. You're not going to believe it. We're going to bring back I Know What You Did Last Summer. Like, this is a movie that someone at the very high level pointed at a peon and said, you there with the camera, make this movie. You know what I mean? And it feels like that.
I think that's the conceit, is that it feels exactly like that. Whether that happened or not, I believe that it did, because that's what this movie feels like. And they're like, we did it, we made it, it's out, Chase Sweet Wonders is in it. There's some people that you're gonna hear from in the future. There's some good actors in this movie that we will see in the future. And some that will end up doing I Know What You Did Last Summer, the reboot, in 30 years themselves. You know what I mean? Freddie Prinze Jr. is in this film. My God, he forgot how to act.
He did. He really did. Or maybe he's not being directed well, or whatever the thing is.
I don't think that was direction, bro. There were lines he was delivering. I was like, come on, dog. Like, yeah. What, like, you got to do a few warm-ups or a rehearsal. Like, what, this ain't working, man. These young kids are looking up to you. What's going on?
Yeah, it definitely had the feeling of that he was on his couch that day, and they were like, oh shit, we forgot to call Freddie. And then he just came in to do the movie. That is how that felt.
His opening scene, even his opening scene and how they styled him. Like, they styled him with this gray, faux hawk, which I was like, immediately a mistake. With all of that being said, we rate movies out of 5. I'm not going to drag this out.
No.
I don't want to drag this out.
No, we have to talk about the fact that the inciting incident of this movie wasn't actually an inciting incident.
Okay, so actually, yes, we'll talk about that and then we'll get to ratings. absolutely true. I'm sitting here watching this, and I remember I turned to you and said, they didn't do anything wrong. Even the thing that they said that they had thought they had done wrong, I wanted to be like, that's not a reason that what happened would have happened, especially if you're going that fast. Like, that would have been a break situation, not a break and swerve and go off a cliff situation. And even when it did, they were all like, no, we can't say. I'm like, no, we're definitely telling the cops. What are we talking about here? We didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, but also, okay, so the idea that they're going to say, oh man, we're going to go to the spot we used to always go to see the fireworks. And I'm like, oh, okay, so they're going to go to whatever, some cliffside or whatever. And then they go to the apex of a blind turn.
Correct.
And I'm like, how is this the place that you always went to on special occasions?
And nobody said this is a bad idea.
What are you talking about? So that already to me was chaos.
Yeah.
But I will say, so in that scene, you do see a little bit of the, okay, we know what you expect of a teen slasher whenever they're in the road. So we're going to play around with that like a little bit. And I was like, okay, well, maybe they're at least playing with some conventions. Nope, never again. Never again.
And that irritated me. I think from that moment on, we started off on the wrong foot. Because I actually watched the original and thought something similar, where I was watching the original and being like, I don't know if that they actually did anything worth not telling the cops about here. Like, as a matter of fact, I'd be like, nah, we were driving. I think we hit something. I'm not sure. Like, you know how fastly they would have gotten to the bottom of whatever was going on? Like, if they accidentally hit a person and then someone else winded up dead, they would have been fine. Like, they still would have went to college. Their people would have swept this under the rug. This would have been perfect. These are 4 white people, Chioke. Like, the other thing is, the other one, same thing, 5 white people. I'm like, I just don't believe that y'all are that afraid of the cops now
in this small a town, and we've already established that the cops are crooked and cover shit up. That's one of
and that your dad is rich.
Yeah, you have to accept that in order for the whole movie to work. And so it's like, well, if the cops are going to cover up the fact that there's a full-on murder spree, why wouldn't they cover up your little accident that you had on your blind turn?
That you essentially had nothing to do with. All of that being said, let's not overstay our welcome here. What are you giving this movie? Out of 5 stars, 3 meaning I would see it again, 4 meaning it was very good, 5 being perfect, satisfying, loved it. And the reverse, you get it. What do you give this movie?
Beetlejuice was bad, but had Beetlejuice in it. This movie is bad, but has familiar faces that I haven't seen ever since I was a 17-year-old in a movie theater in Jacksonville, Florida. And that gives it a 0.5 of the 1.5 stars.
Okay. I think a 1.5 is a fair grade. I gave it a 2 because there were parts, enough of it that I liked, that I felt like that were like 3, hitting 3 and 3.5 and 3.75 in there. But the familiarity actually wasn't enough for me because I wanted more Jennifer Love Hewitt. As a matter of fact, I want to see her in everything all the time. I love Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah, I mean, this movie wants us to...
Let me finish my rating. Get out of here. Sorry. So as far as I'm concerned, that wasn't enough, in my opinion. But I definitely don't want to watch this movie again, no matter how much Jennifer Love Hewitt was in it, because I don't want to watch the original again, and she's actually in that one. So I can't give it above a 2. I think it's a 2 out of 5 star movie, but I think a 1.5 is also fair. There's something floating around here with the stinger, and I'm concerned. It's right behind you.
Oh, we are in trouble.
Yeah.
All right, listen. This movie is in the kind of slasher camp, right? And as you may have noticed, it's no different than every other teen slasher movie that ever came before it. However, there are good and interesting slasher / horror movies. If you want to see a movie where it's about the murder and the kills are really good, check out In a Violent Nature. If you want to see a movie where the gang gets slashed up, but it's in this very interesting way, maybe go check out Ty West's X. There are movies out there where watching the gang get murdered is fun, and you should go watch them.
This is certainly not one of the good ones. And with that, Leaving the Theater is a production of Oh, It's Big Ron Studios. I mixed this episode, and per usual, I'm out here in the rain. You can hear it now. The rain has mostly stopped, but my shirt is completely soaking wet. My shoes are completely soaking wet. I have to pay for parking. I did not pay for parking. I could quite possibly have a ticket. That's where Patreon comes in. All of these are expenses that are incurred while making a show that I love to make and that you love to listen to. If this is true for you, you should consider becoming a patron on patreon.com/leavingthetheater. There you could have access to my vlog, which is about to be updated any minute now. You're gonna be like, whoa, he finally updated it. It's about to happen, and I'm gonna find a repeatable way to make more videos and bring them to you every month. I'm gonna do it, I promise. But in the meantime, I'm still making this show every single week. I'm out here cutting, editing, driving, seeing movies, bringing Chioke up from Richmond. If y'all contribute more to the Patreon, if y'all stay locked in, I might even be able to start paying guests on this show. Could you imagine, Chioke? Thank you. So anyway, patreon.com/leavingthetheater or go to the link in our show notes. Show art from Heather Wilder. Theme music by the mysterious Breakmaster Cylinder. For more information about I Know What You Did Last Summer or Chioke Ayanson, please check out our show notes. You can follow me on Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, Threads, or Letterboxd at Oh It's Big Ron. That's at OHITSBIGRON. You can find out more about this show and other Oh It's Big Ron Studio shows by following us on Instagram at Oh It's Big Ron Studios. Leaving the Theater will be back soon. Thanks for listening. And thanks for being on the show.
I gotta drive 2 hours home in this bullshit.